Hey, and welcome to Thursday Night Live. So I have absolutely no idea if that intro played at all. I saw that there were some comments about buffering issues, which probably. It's been raining pretty bad here, and when it rains, internet, not great. Anyway, I hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas and got all the things you wanted from Santa. I know I did. It was amazing, just amazing. So tonight, what I'm going to be talking about is 2025, the year ahead. So here we go. And I think this is just going to be a really important topic as we set the intention. Last week, we talked about setting the intention for the next year. And this is kind of setting the stage of what's going on in the background energetically. Excuse me. So in numerology, 2025 is considered a 9 year. And a nine represents the completion of a cycle because numbers go from 1 to 9 and then cycle back to 10, which is equal to a 1. But where were we? So in 2024, it was an 8 year, and it was about redefining our goals and holding our emotional space for the life we're leaving behind. It was about empowering and liberating our energy where the hard work we put in starts paying off. But it also requires that we shifted away from the reflective lessons of the 7 year or 2023 and fearlessly embracing the rapid changes of the coming year. By identifying the areas in our lives that are personally dissatisfying or underdeveloped, we can take the first steps transforming ourselves and our lives. And I really feel like that was a true statement. There are so many people that I know, clients, friends, myself, that really were looking at things that were going on in their lives, setting boundaries, completing goals, identifying things that were important to themselves, and taking steps to changing them and having them be better and different for themselves and for the coming year. And so 2025 is a year of releasing and purging those things that are no longer serving us, with the goal of 2026 being a new year, a 1 year where we get to bring in and start a new cycle of living. So for 2025, we can use the year to detox ourselves and our life, releasing those things that aren't serving us anymore. So for example, relationships that aren't really working or supporting us, we can end, or a job that doesn't satisfy our needs, we can leave it behind. Most importantly, personal habits that hinder and harm us can be eliminated from our lives if we choose. And I think for a lot of people, there has been visualization and additional clarity as to what's working and what's not working, whether we've taken steps to do something about it or not. So like destructive habits, like getting worked up over things that really don't matter, or indulging in things that are not for our highest good, just distract us from our forward motion. So it's a great year to be ending those habits that harm our health, both physical and mentally, and adopt practices that promote our overall well-being. Now think about it. You've all already been working on this. We've been talking about being mindful and tuning in and listening to that inner guidance, or paying attention to what spirit is prompting us to do. And that has been helping us identify things that aren't working and sets the stage for beginning the process of change for the better. For many people, we have also started testing out our tools, maybe not using them in full force, but trying them out, making a comment in a different way, establishing a boundary, doing things a little bit differently, and seeing how it works out for good or bad. But now we're going to be able to employ them with more certainty and increased clarity. So instead of just going, okay, my answer is no, we'll sit there and go, no, and own that, and own the firmness of our decision to ourselves. Because one of the other topics that we've talked about this year is self-love and loving ourselves enough to be able to say no when what is being offered to us isn't in alignment with who we are and what we want. But there's a little bit of a warning that I'm going to put out. It's important to take a pause, to reflect, and become mindful of the projects, dreams, relationships, and ambitions we've nurtured over the last 5 years. Now, these things that we've been wanting to bring in can happen gradually, but the important part is to embrace the flow state, instead of trying to force progress. To do that, we have to pay attention to our ego and other superficial goals. And when we do that, that takes us out of the flow. When we're acting on ego, we're acting on mental energy, versus when we're acting from the heart, we're acting on spirit, the universe. It puts us in the flow. And we've talked about separating messages from the soul versus ego. But by the end of this process, by the end of this year, you should be an expert at being able to come into yourself and come into the heart and make decisions based on what's important to you and your well-being. Now, for many of us, we might want to resist the change, but what we're being called upon is to surrender to something that may be hard. It's like, okay, you need to do this. Like spirit is saying, well, you need to do this. And you're like, no. We might be called to leaving a job, but that old fear of, well, what's going to happen to me? And will I have any money? Or ending a relationship where we're comfortable. Inside, we know it's the thing to do. And sometimes we just have to surrender to that process. And doing that can be hard. But resisting it can create frustration and, more importantly, stagnation in our ability to be and have those things that we want. So have faith, trust in the universe that everything will unfold just as it is intended to be. Now, we might find ourselves resorting back to our fear-based thinking, and this will stop the change process right in its track. So if you find yourself in that bad brain place, use your tools, breathe, tap, go for a walk, meditate, journal, do whatever it takes to bring you back into the present moment. The present moment is the soul moment. It is that heartfelt moment where we can make decisions for what we want and what we need and get us out of that egoic place. So 2025 is all about you becoming you becoming your authentic self, so that who you are on the inside is being reflected by who you are on the outside. It's a time to fall in love with yourself and all the things you do. So take a deep breath and breathe in 2025 and exhale 2024 as we move into this new year. So I thought that was really interesting. And I thought, based on this show and the topics that we have covered this year, that we have really been in line with the universal energy on the planet. So yay us, because we're spiritual warriors and we're on top of everything. So that's my thing for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope, you listen to it again. I think I talked a little fast, but that's okay. You can listen to it in the rerun if you really want to take it in a bit deeper. Yeah. So anyway, so this show is brought to you by the Institute of Applied Energetics. That's appliedenergeticsinstitute.com, where you can learn to become a medical intuitive, an intuitive counselor, or a certified energy medicine practitioner. And if you go to that webpage, Applied Energetics Institute, you can download their free or my free 50-page guide, Jumpstart Your Intuition, to start you on this process, to opening you up to your intuitive information and guidance. And as always, if there's something going on in your life and you need to get some deeper insights, a question about your health, your relationships, your work, those kind of things, reach out to me at my webpage, soulhealer.com, and we can set up a time for a private consultation. And if you're listening to this show, either this intro part or the full show, and you would like to join the fun, the easiest place to do that is by going to my YouTube channel, which is Just Energy Radio on YouTube. That's Just Energy Radio on YouTube. Click the live button at 7 p.m. Central, and you can join the chat, and you too can get a free on-air psychic reading from me, Dr. Rita Louise. Anyway, guys, I hope that you really enjoyed that. And I am going to go through the comments. Again, if you are wanting to communicate with me directly, like you want to get a reading or you have a comment to me that you would like for me to read, please type in all caps so I can separate out what's chat room banter and what is being directed to me. But I'm going to go through and say hi. And whoever asked for a reading, I'm going to just stop at that point and do their reading. So you don't need to ask me 15 times to give you a reading, because sometimes your request is way down the list. Okay? Love you all, but just being real here. Okay. So we have Master B and friend a Truth Seeker that says, hi. Hey, Master B. And Amy. Hi, Amy. She says, hi, Dr. Rita. Hope you had a great Christmas. Amy, it was a wonderful Christmas. And Master Player says, hi. And made a comment about the buffering issues. Hi, Karen. I had a great holiday. I hope your holiday was wonderful also. All right, I'm not even going to read that. All right. So Daniel says, seems to be working well on my end. It was not moving on my end, and which was why I was like, okay, it finished doing what it was doing, and I just came on. It is so weird. The last couple of weeks, it's just not been working great. So I don't get it. Okay, Christine. Hi, how you doing? I hope you had a good Christmas. She would like a reading number 3, please. You sure can. And again, if these readings make sense to you and, it's hitting what's going on in your life at this point in time, I always love the feedback. All right, Christine. So here's your card for today. All right, Christine. So, I'm kind of putting my own spin on this here a little bit. I feel like there's been a shift that has just happened for you, and my little bit is, maybe because Christmas is over now and you can kind of move on to other things. But I feel like your body is moving into kind of a releasing and recovery phase. I also feel like you really have been kind of taking to heart this whole, we're moving into the new year. And I feel like you're using some of this time to reflect on what's going on inside so that you can come up with a plan for 2025. So you seem like you're right on track. Good job. Okay, so Master Player would like bring me a number 1. I feel like I should have some dice for you there, Master Player. All right, 1. Okay, and here's your card for today. So another very high energy card, Master Player. I don't know. I just feel like you really feel like you're in the groove. I feel like you are feeling whole and one. I feel like, I get the impression that you tend to be like a run, go, go, do, maybe in a little bit of an ego headspace. No offense to that, but, that's what keeps you propelled forward. And I feel like your energy is still and it's present in this moment. And so if you've never really understood what I mean, like, being in the present moment, being in the now, how you're feeling today in this moment is kind of what I'm talking about. I don't feel like you're rushing to move on to the next thing, move on to the next project. You're just kind of here enjoying the now. So cool. But there might be a lesson in that for you. All right. So we have Daniel who says, Sarah, something that I can't read. Hi, Daniel. Nice. Thanks for coming to the show. Mr. B. Oh, hi. That's all right. Karen. All right. So you guys really need to write in caps because there's a lot of commentary going on. Karen would love a reading number 2. Okay, Karen. Ooh, Karen, funky card. All right, that's your card for today. Interesting. So, Karen, this is actually a very interesting card for you. So I feel like and I'm going to say it this way, and I hope this makes sense. I feel like there has been a revelation for you, like you've had a little bit of a light bulb moment today, recently, like very recently, and you're seeing something in yourself that you kind of knew was there, but you really didn't look at it particularly. And I feel like it's like in your face right now, and you're being called to acknowledge it and address it and change it. And so, whatever you're going through right now, I feel like this is kind of you're having the opportunity to have this be a pivotal moment. And so, I hope you take the time to reflect on what's going on. What's my role in this? Do I have a role in this? If I was going to change something, or if I could do something differently, even if it's hard, what would that be? And so, because that is, if you heard the beginning part, will help you as you move into 2025, own that tool and own that decision that you made about yourself as you move into this new year of purging. Good job. Good job. All right. So Amy would love a reading number 3. And thank God 2025. But we say that every year. It's like, oh my God, I'm so glad that it's going to be a new year. And then the new year happens and it's like, ugh. Although I feel really hopeful for this year. Okay, Amy, what do you got going on? Okay. Bam. That's your card for today. So, Amy, I get the impression. All right, hang on. All right, hang on, guys. 1 second. I didn't have any lozenges, and you know how bad that is. Amy, I'm very proud of you. I feel like you have been using some of your time for some inner reflection and some evaluation of potential steps to move forward. I feel like you've really been doing that from a soul, heart perspective. I feel like you have brought your guides in, your whatever team. I mean, I feel like it's not just you coming up with this. And I don't mean physical people, but your spiritual team to help you kind of sort through some of this. What they're saying to me is, yes, sort through it, but you haven't gotten the final answer yet. And I feel like you haven't gotten the final answer yet, so don't be frustrated with that. Okay, So what they're suggesting is that you, and I'm just going to say after the first of the year, after next week, you do some of that. What do I need to do now? What do I need to do today? What is my next step? Instead of just going, oh, I have this idea and I know how to accomplish it. Because I feel like there's some very small caveats that will set the stage for the whole thing unwinding. And so allow it to unwind. Don't let your brain get into it. Ask for the slow, small steps. Ask for the process to unfold for you one step at a time. Good job. It's Michael Wesley. Hey, Michael Wesley. Okay, so Michael, since you're here and I know you want a reading, so I'm just going to give you a reading. Sorry, everybody. But Michael's jumping the line. And Michael, I'm going to give you a number 3. And Marco, just to let you know, I've known Michael longer. Just saying. All right, Michael, and this is your card for today. Interesting. So, Michael, and I don't know if this has been in your thoughts or mentality, but I'm putting it out there. But I feel like there's part of you that's feeling a little restless. You know, I want to say bored, but I like restless better. And I feel like you're kind of being pushed a little bit to go do something, to invest your time and energy into something, you know, whether that's doing some studying or volunteering, you know, whatever. I don't know what the thing is, but I'm feeling like there's part of you that wants to, and actually what they're saying is kind of go out and go about and re-emerge onto this planet. You know, not that you have an issue being by yourself, but I feel like you want more, you want something bigger, you want something deeper. So I can't wait to find out what that is. Yeah. You know, so just let that happen. If that's where you're being guided, let that happen. Okay. So Unar says, happy to be here. So much fun. I'm ready for a reading tonight. You have such interesting topics. Number 1, you sure can, Unar. And just to let you know, Unar, it's like people ask me, you know, like, well, what's next week's topic? And I never know. Either during the week, you know, I'll get like, oh, you should talk about this. And, you know, sometimes it's about 15 minutes before I come on air. You know, but I really try to have spirit direct what it is that it is important for me to talk about at any given moment or any given time. Okay, and here's your card for today. So Unar, I feel like there is, and I'm going to say, an opportunity being presented to you. That's the best way that I can express it. And it's kind of like something out in left field that you really would never have considered or thought about bringing into your life. But I'm feeling like it is being presented to you for a reason. Now, this is really kind of interesting because they're saying, look at it, touch it, feel it, investigate it, and see how it feels for you. It's hard for me to separate out. Is this for you to just have that experience of like inner evaluation? Or is this something that you're supposed to actually put your energy behind? Right at this moment, the the answer is out. I don't have an answer for that because it's not seeming totally certain. Yeah, not seeming certain. So when those opportunities come, look at them, touch them, feel them, play with them, but then use your tools to check in on the inside. Is this something that I should be putting my energy into? Is this for my highest good? Is me doing this a self-loving act? And that should help you move forward from a higher, more present point of view. Okay. Hey, Don. So Don says, hi, Dr. Rita, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Could I have a #1 reading? Don, you sure can. Uh-oh, Don. Okay, so for people that are new to the show, these cards are called mask cards, and they usually identify an energy that you don't want to look at, that there's denial about, that there's energy that's stuck. And I collect cards, flip cards until I feel like the energy has cleared, and I read that card because really that's what needs to happen in order to get through this. So Don, sadly, you got a double face card and not so great. I'm going to go with this one here. So not too bad, but whatever this is constipating. It is constipating there, Don. So Don, I'm kind of feeling like you're hitting a little bit of fear energy. I feel like there's been some opportunities to perhaps do things differently, try things differently, have a different approach to allow yourself to experience something new. This really has to do with like new and this hesitancy to embrace something that you're not familiar with. And so I'm just raising your awareness to that. And so these don't seem really bad, except they're showing the level of stuckness of your reticence, your hesitancy of opening yourself up to the changes and shifts that really want to happen in you. And so, when that fear comes on, when you're going, oh, I don't really want to do that, maybe you need to stop and hear me in your head, or imagine that face picture and go, oh no, it's Dr. Rita and she got one of them mask cards. It's the mask card coming up. Because sometimes when you acknowledge it and you name it, it makes it so you can move it to the side and go, okay, I'm scared. This sucks, but I am moving through it and I am moving on. Okay. All right. So anyone that I've done a little reading for, if it is resonating with you, I would love for you to put your comments below. Also, if you'd like, you can leave me a little something in my tip jar. You can go to soulhealer.com/live. That's soulhealer.com/live and leave a little something. There's a PayPal link, as well as you can go to my shopping cart and leave a little tip in there. And I would really appreciate that a lot. Okay. All right. So that was done. So Marco says, did you get better looking since last week? Of course. I have the portrait of Dorian Gray, but it's the portrait of Dr. Rita Louise in my closet, and it gets older, and I don't. Okay, let's see. Hi, Gina from Fox Den Radio. If you post your link, I'll say it out loud. Merry Christmas to you too. All right, so Unar says, just curious, Dr. Rita, are you from New York? Can't you tell that I'm from New York, Unar? But yes, I am from New York. All right, so Dawn said, I wish I had that thought line, back in my early 20s, I'd be better today. Yeah, wouldn't we all? Wouldn't we all? Marco, I live in Texas, but I did not grow up here. Okay, let's see. ERRT Radio, hey, Merry Christmas. I was thinking about you this week as I was working on my topic. So listen to it because I think it will really resonate with you this week. All right. And he would like a reading number 2, please. You sure can. Okay, so that's your card for this week. Okay. So ERRT Radio, I feel like you have really just been kind of a busy bee. I feel like there have been things that you've been accomplishing, which is great. You know, I really like people that are active and proactive. And I just want to validate that whatever you're working on, I feel like, you know, it is coming from your soul. You know, we've kind of talked a number of times about separating out whether ego's at play or it's a soul directive. And I feel like whatever you're working on is a soul directive. So good job for catching that and paying attention to that and moving forward on that. Okay. And they're giving me not a caveat, but like a little heads up that something that's going to be important to you, you know, with this, and it might be in general with how you process, is that periodically it's going to be important for you to take little breaks. You know, and I don't mean like a 15-minute break, but to kind of pull your energy back and kind of reassess and reconnect and recheck in and going, am I still on point? Am I still on soul purpose? You know, is this where they want me to go, or do I need to move in a slightly different direction? You're getting the opportunity to really fine tune your internal navigation. So you're being presented with a great opportunity. But again, I feel like taking those little pregnant pauses to recenter, reground, get back into the present, and then readdressing this will serve what you're wanting to create even better. Okay. Okay. So Daniel. Hi, Daniel. You're a new name. Nice to meet you. Thanks for tuning into the show today. And you didn't give me a number, so I am going to do a 2 for you. Okay. So usually people give me a number from 1 to 3, and that's the number of times I will shuffle the cards. But you didn't give me a number, and I didn't want to cut you off and not give you a reading. Okay, so Daniel, I know you were here. So you got one of those funky mask cards too. Okay. So Daniel, one of the things I feel like you have been working on is the concept of self-love. You know, I kind of get the impression that, you know, you've been a little bit of a punching bag for people. And I feel like one of the things that you're seeing, if you were listening to the beginning, that things that haven't been working for you have really been kind of coming to the forefront of your awareness this past year. And I feel like, you know, that's one of the things that you love other people more than you love yourself. And so maybe it's time in 2025 to change that around and begin to love yourself first and then love other people. And I know for many, when they sit there and they honor what they want, okay, so people that tend to be empaths and healers and helper people, they tend to respect and honor what other people want more than what they want for themselves, and will often accept bad treatment because they don't want to hurt or affect the other person. But sometimes we have to stop and go, but that's really not working for me. And I don't want to do that for our own self-preservation. I mean, why love someone else that's hurting you more than you're loving yourself? And so I feel like that's going to be one of your calling cards for 2025, is really working on loving yourself and honoring what's going on inside. So good job. Okay, let's see. Dagger Spell. Hi, Dagger Spell. Christine said, thank you. It really resonated on point as always. My Xmas went well. I'm glad yours was good as well. Yes, it was wonderful. All right, so Daniel, I already gave you a reading. And no, only 1 through 3, so you got a 2. Oh, wait a minute. 11, 1 and 1 equals 2. So you got a 2. Perfect. All right, Master Player says, I always like to stay focused if they just let me do it. Okay. Nashoba, hi, how are you today? Brian, hey, Brian, it is so nice to see you. And he says, hello, Dr. Rita. Hope you're having a wonderful holiday new year. Brian, I am doing wonderful. I feel honored having you turn up. This is great. Okay, so ERT Radio say, where are you? There you are. This will be different year and 4 years actually. Okay, well, that's great. So Karen says, wow, Rita, that is so on point. Excellent, thank you. All right, Ricky. Hey, Ricky, would like a reading number 2. Number 2. Okay. All right, and that's your card for today. Okay, so Ricky, this is going to sound really weird. All right, it sounds kind of weird me saying this, but I feel like, it just recently, the last, I'm going to say couple of weeks, and I always tie things to like some situation, but I feel like something happened and you found yourself. You found a deeper level of yourself. I feel like there was like a deeper connection that you made with your heart and with your soul. I feel like there's part of you that's celebrating this newfound connection. I mean, the vibe on it is as if you had been doing some inner child work and had broken through some barrier that was keeping you from acknowledging and loving yourself. But I feel like you've seen it and you've broken through that. And so just acknowledge how that feels. And I hope that feels wonderful to you, because I feel like the work that you've just accomplished shouldn't close back up. I mean, it might a little bit, but I feel like there's a level of permanency to this shift in your space. So cool. Okay. Hi, Dave Perry. I'm glad that you made it to the show today. All right. Amy says, perfect reading. I will let it unfold and I will be patient and grateful for the little gifts from the universe. Heading for the tip jar. Thank you so much, Dr. Rita. So see, Amy, one of my loyal fans, goes to the tip jar, soulhealer.com/live, soulhealer.com/live, and leaves me a little something, which makes me love her even more than I already loved her. Okay. Unar says, that was absolutely perfect. I can relate. One of my favorites. Thank you. Well, you are so welcome, Unar. Ricky says, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Beautiful. Oh, thank you. Hey, Ruth. How are you? Okay, Ruth, can you tell me who got my abilities? I got my abilities run, and if this runs in my family. Okay, so guys, I am just going to answer Ruth's question, and don't think that you all can do this, but I'm just being very kind because it's Christmas and I can be kind. And I love Ruth and I love her husband, and they take very good care of me. So she gets a free pass, just like Michael. He gets a free pass. So Ruth, I definitely feel like they came, that it does run in your family. I mean, I feel like your mom was actually pretty strong, but then there was like an aunt or a great aunt again on your mom's side who was, I don't want to say witchy, but kind of had that vibe, that was more into it. Like maybe she was a spiritualist. That kind of opened doors for you and the family. So, but no, I mean, it is generational. But Ruth, I mean, I feel like you've also had a bunch of past lives where this was just what you did. And so, it's not a matter of like receiving the ability, but something that you've had and honed for years and years and years. So cool. So ERT Radio said, wow, great news. Oh, and it's Kim, and Kim's goat just had a baby, and it is Krampus because the daddy's name is Lucifer, was the daddy, and the baby was born on Christmas. So it's Krampus. Happy birthday, Krampus. Hi, Kim. All right. So ERRT Radio says, thank you, Dr. Rita, right on point. All right, Ricky says, thank you, found tip jar, gave a tip. Thank you, Ricky, love you. Daniel says, oh my God, thank you so much. You're so right. Daniel, this is what I do. It's what I do. Okay. And then Kristen says, could we do readings for a reading? Okay. I don't really know what that means, Kristen. So I'm just going to wait 1 second, Kristen. So if you could clarify that, because I'm down at the end of my run here. So Ruth says, thank you. It does explain a lot. Love you. Love you too, Ruth. So Kristen, I'm going back to Kristen. Did you want to get a reading? Because I'd be happy to give you one. You do a reading for me and I do a reading for you. Sure, I'm always game for getting a reading. But I mean, this is, people wonder why I do this show. So I do this show because I love it and it gives me energy and I feel compelled to be here and share wisdom and insights to you. But it's also my way of giving back. Like if you contacted me and said, hey, can I get a free reading? Or, hey, I don't know you from anybody on the entire planet, but can you give me like a huge discount on a session? I'll tell you what, it ain't going to happen. But you are more than welcome to come here and get a reading for me for free, for nothing in return. Okay, so Kristen says, I haven't had one done for me in a while, and I would love to do a reading for you. So Kristen, when we're done with this, just reach out to me and we'll set up something. So Kristen, I'm going to give you a one shuffle because I'm feeling like a one shuffle for you. Okay. All right, and that's your card for today. It's interesting because this card in my little internal directory usually comes up as like there's something confused. But for you, Kristen, I feel like there has been a path that you have been on, and I feel like, or a situation that you've been in, and the situation, and this is the best way I can explain it, the situation revealed itself to you. You know, if I'm talking about a person, this would make more sense with a person, that they took their mask off and now you can actually see the person for who they really are, the situation for what it really is. And you keep showing me this image of your feet like digging in the sand so you can just like stop all of your forward momentum so you can turn around and run the other way. And you will. But I feel like this revelation was kind of shocking to you, and you haven't quite gotten over that part. You know, and I'm not really getting betrayal kind of energy, but more shock. Like you didn't think that that's what it was going to be, or that's where it was going to go, or that person was that way. And it's just like, really? Really? But in the same breath, you are loving yourself enough to hightail it the hell out of there, because I just feel like now that you understand the reality of what's going on, you can't get out of there fast enough. So cool. Kim says, I look pretty tonight. Thanks, Kim. Okay, so I am at the end of the string. Anybody else want to get a reading that didn't get one yet? Because I will get to you next. Or if I don't hear from anyone, then we're going to cut this a little short because it is a holiday week. And New Year's is just in a few days. And we get to start bringing in this new energy and new dynamic. Antonio, hi. Thank you, Antonio. I love you too. So ERRT Radio says, another great show, Dr. Rita. Thank you. And thank you guys. And so I'm just going to call it here. I'm just going to call it. So before I go, I just want to remind people, so you can always leave me a little something in the tip jar. But also, if I would really appreciate it if you would go to my different social media accounts, you know, Just Energy Radio on YouTube. You can find me at Dr. Rita Louise -live on Facebook, Psychic Doc on Rumble, Dr. Rita Louise on BitChute, or Dr. Rita Louise on Twitter, and like and subscribe and thumbs up and do all of those things that people do on social media. I would really appreciate it. I mean, I don't care if you like, you know, check out my stuff in all of those places, but it just helps me grow this audience and helps me. It just helps me, guys. So just do it, damn it. It could be your Christmas gift to me. Yeah, that's it. And as always, if you would like to schedule a private consultation with me, please visit my site, soulhealer.com. That's soulhealer.com. And if you're interested in becoming a energy medicine practitioner, intuitive counselor, or certified medical intuitive, please do go to the Institute of Applied Energetics. That's appliedenergeticsinstitute.com, and download my free 50-page Jumpstart Your Intuition Guide. So guys, that's it for this week. I'll see you all next year. And until then, I'm Dr. Rita Louise. This is Thursday Night Live. Be blessed. That is not the right one.